How old is Natalia Grace? What she and her former adoptive parents have said about her actual age. How old is Natalia Grace? This seemingly simple question is at the heart of the new based on a true story series, Good American Family, as well as other shows about Natalia Grace, like The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. In 2010, Indiana-based couple Michael and Christine Barnett adopted Grace, a child from Ukraine with a rare form of dwarfism. While the adoption agency provided a Ukrainian birth certificate stating that Grace had been born in 2003, the Barnetts said they began to wonder if she was actually an adult posing as a little girl. Meanwhile, Grace maintained that she was a child all along. Here's what to know. The Barnetts have said that soon after adopting Grace, they began to suspect she was an adult pretending to a child around the age of 7. Looking back to 2010, something just wasn't right. Michael Barnett said in a 2019 interview with UK outlet ITV News. Michael Barnett said in the ITV interview that when his wife gave Grace a bath the first night after the adoption, she noticed the girl had pubic hair. In a 2023 court deposition shown in the documentary, Barnett also said Grace told him she already had a monthly period. Natalia said, "I have a period and I've been hiding it from you because I don't want you to know." He said, "A period is not necessarily a sign of adulthood." According to the Mayo Clinic, precocious puberty occurs when a child's body matures too soon. For girls, that is before the age of 8. Grace has disputed this. In the documentary, she alleges that Christine Barnett abused her and forced her to pretend she was menstruating. "I was 7 years old and all of a sudden, Christine just tried to convince me that I was having my period. Christine literally just said, 'You started your period,' and she forced me to put the tampon in. And I literally just told her, 'I can't do it, it hurts.'" Grace says, "I remember Christine being mad because I couldn't do it." Christine Barnett had denied allegations that she physically abused Grace. "Natalia was a very much loved and cared for member of my family," she said in a now-deleted Facebook post. "She was not abused by anyone in my family." Any discipline of Natalia was very minimal and was not out of the bounds of normal parenting. Did the Barnetts change Natalia Grace's legal age? According to an affidavit for probable cause filed by the state of Indiana in 2019, the Barnetts legally changed Grace's age birth certificate to say she was born in 1989, aging her up from 8 to 22 in June of 2012. The couple rented an Indiana apartment for Grace to live in on her own starting in July of 2013, according to the affidavit. Afterward, the couple moved to Canada with their 3 biological children. Christine Barnett instructed Grace to tell people she was actually 22 years old, per the affidavit. According to the affidavit, the couple was aware that doctors at Peyton Manning Children's Hospital had determined Grace was a minor in 2012. In 2019, the Barnetts were each charged with 6 counts of neglect of a dependent and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit neglect of a dependent. Michael Barnett was acquitted of his charges after a jury trial in 2022, and the charges against his wife were dismissed. Grace has always maintained that she was a young child when she was adopted, and has said Christine Barnett forced her to lie about being an adult. "I was terrified of her. I was terrified, so when Christine told me to tell people that I was 22, I listened because I didn't know what she would have me do. I didn't know what she would do to me," Grace says in the documentary. "She threatened me into telling people lies. At first I said, 'No, I'm a kid,' and I guess she just got so mad." In the documentary, Grace also says she was initially unaware that the Barnetts had filed a court motion to charge her legal birth date from 2003 to 1989. Grace says these legal proceedings took place after the Barnetts sent her away to LaRue Carter Hospital, a psychiatric facility in Indianapolis, Indiana. I did not know that Michael and Christine were changing my age, Grace says. How old is Natalia Grace? In 2010, a doctor at Peyton Manning Children's Hospital examined Grace and determined her age was about 8, according to a 2019 affidavit filed in the Tippecanoe Court in Indiana, obtained by TUDAWay.com. A skeletal examination of Grace in 2012 also found that Grace was approximately 11 years old, per the affidavit. The curious case of Natalia Grace provides evidence to support that Grace is in her early 20s. In one episode, Grace is seen taking a DNA test with a company called True Diagnostic in August 2023 to determine her true age. I just really want people to see the truth, she says. In an emotional scene, Grace is told that her DNA test results found she was about 22, meaning she was definitely a child when she was adopted by the Barnetts. This one little piece of paper throws every single lie that the Barnetts have said right into the trash, with a match, Grace says. This is so big because literally this has been 13 years of just two people lying their butts off, she also says. The documentary also includes an interview with Dr. Timothy Gosweiler, a dentist who conducted an analysis of Grace's teeth in 2011. Gosweiler shows x-rays of Grace's teeth from that examination, and he says that at the time, Grace had 12 baby teeth remaining. This is way too many baby teeth to be an adult, he says in the docuseries, adding that the x-rays offer indisputable proof that Grace was a child when the exam was performed. You can't fake teeth coming in like this, he says. The documentary also shows paperwork that was reportedly provided to Christine Barnett at the time, which states that based on her dental results, Grace was estimated to be 8 or 9 years old in 2011. Today, Grace is living with Nicole and Vincent DePaul, a New York couple with dwarfism. The Barnetts have since divorced and moved back to the U.S., according to court filings. In the quiet suburbs of Indiana, a mystery unraveled that seemed torn from the pages of a psychological thriller, a tale that blurred the line between truth and illusion, between childlike innocence and deceptive cunning. At the heart of it all was Natalia Grace, a girl whose age and identity became the subject of national fascination, courtroom battles, and an eerie family feud that left everyone asking, how old is Natalia Grace, really? Natalia was adopted in 2010 by Christine and Michael Barnett, a seemingly well-meaning couple with biological children of their own, and a history of fostering kids with special needs. Born with a rare form of dwarfism known as spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia congenita, Natalia stood just 3 feet tall, her size and speech patterns adding to the initial impression that she was a 6-year-old Ukrainian orphan. But that's where things started to twist. Almost immediately, the Barnetts claimed they noticed strange behaviors that didn't align with a young child. According to them, Natalia had an advanced vocabulary, was menstruating, and exhibited violent tendencies. Christine would later tell media outlets and police investigators that Natalia allegedly tried to poison her coffee and push her into an electric fence. In the family's telling, they had not adopted a vulnerable child, but rather a cunning adult posing as one. We were scammed, Christine Barnett insisted. She was a sociopath in a child's body. In a move that sent shockwaves through the legal system, the Barnetts petitioned the court in 2012 to change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, legally aging her from 8 to 22. And the court approved it. Based on a doctor's assessment and a lack of consistent birth records from Ukraine, the judge granted the re-aging, essentially declaring Natalia an adult. With the court order in hand, The Barnetts rented Natalia her own apartment, paid her rent for a time, and then moved to Canada, leaving her behind. Years later, they would be charged with neglect and abandonment, but a jury would find them not guilty, thanks to the court-ordered age change. But that legal twist didn't answer the bigger question. How old was Natalia Grace, really? For years, the only voices in the public square were the Barnetts. But in 2023, Natalia finally broke her silence in the ID docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Natalia speaks. She appeared not as a monster or mastermind, but as a young woman with a soft voice, tears in her eyes, and a deep ache to be believed. "I know how old I am," Natalia said. "I've always told the truth. I'm not some evil imposter. I'm just me." She maintained that she was born in 2003, as per her original Ukrainian birth certificate, which would have made her 6 years old at the time of her adoption. She refuted all allegations of violence or deception, saying she never harmed anyone, and was confused and heartbroken when her adoptive parents started accusing her of being an adult. In her version of events, it was the Barnetts who turned on her. Disillusioned by the challenges of parenting a child with disabilities, they invented the age-up story as a way to rid themselves of responsibility. According to Natalia, she was left alone to fend for herself, a child trying to survive in an adult's world, utterly abandoned. "If I were 22, why would I still be growing?" she asked in the docuseries, showing x-rays and medical records that suggested bone growth more consistent with a teenager than a middle-aged woman. Pediatric doctors she saw in later years reportedly treated her as a minor, and DNA testing was inconclusive or never fully completed in court.